Alright, hello everyone. Hello. We're just getting everything going. Hi BMC, Paul, No Name, and John. And Blank. Blank, that's always fun to say. Wall Party, hello. Awesome, well thank you for coming in. I do appreciate that. Let's see. And hi, Gina. Just making sure I didn't miss any comments. Hey, Shay. Red, someone. Hello. Oy. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday. Oh. Alright. Okay, let's get that up. Would you guys believe, like, the fact that people call that number at freaking 10 o'clock at night? Like, what are you doing at 10 o'clock at night? You know what I mean? Like, do you get a life? Don't all stay there. Like, do something else with your Friday. All the emojis from Blank. Appreciate that. Hey, Zach. Hello. Hey, Soroski. Apparently, aw. Guys, don't forget to send your heart me over on TikTok. Hey, Shannon. They're probably just gonna repeat the same stuff that they always say and repeat. That's almost a guaranteed, if we're being honest. Like, they almost always just say the exact same things. Yes, it probably is that one, No Name. Probably is that one, No Name. Oops. Didn't realize it zoomed in on me. There we go. Well, Shannon, the best way to do it is if you don't want to see psychos in the chat, to stick on the horizontal one. Actually, Green, that would be quite sad if they thought it was live. There's a significant difference between a recording and then live. If they can't figure that out, that would actually be really sad. The pets are good. We have, I guess the best way to go is this way. Oh, you can't see Bailey. Well, Safari's there. Bailey's over. Bailey is off screen. Bailey is off screen. Hey, CK. Is working stuff out. It seems like it should be the opposite, Shannon. It seems like horizontal should be on your TV and then portrait should be on your phone. Yes. Thank you, No Name. See, the pretty black kitty all the way back there. She loves to lay there, loves to be cute. Really, she just wants her peace. Really, she just wants her peace. You know what I mean? Bailey's gonna do what Bailey's gonna do. And typically that's him being a butthead. Yeah, Bishop, I said it on, Oh, thank you, Gina.
You're awesome!
Thank you, Gina. Thank you for the, Canadian 279. Yes, Bishop, I said on... What day was that? Thursday, that I would be on about 12 noon Eastern time. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, they definitely have you, Green. It's not the other way around. It's definitely that they have you. they don't believe in being able to not blindly support people. Sunlit. It's a nice thought, but blind support is the way to go for a lot of people. All right, we'll take a peek. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now, Shannon. I get that. I understand that now. Oh, that was so funny. Oh god. Oh god, that was a funny, just nonsensical gobbledygook of I don't even know what to read. Hey, macaroni. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. There we go. Oh, thank you, CK, for becoming a member. I was trying to read that comment. What'd you say? Yeah, no, Shannon, that does make sense. If it's on your TV, you can't see the chat. People say some weird stuff. So Green, we actually we did that, but we haven't watched the newest episode that came out on Wednesday. Is that right? I don't know what days of the week. Thanks for calling the stream.
Florida, Georgia.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for calling the stream. How old are you? Oh, okay. But he did it. That's funny. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there? Hello? Okay. It's always something, Libby. I mean, I'm good with, like, everything going on. You know what I mean? Like, yay, everything. Yeah, hold on. I need to put this up on the screen just to be like, thank you again to CK for becoming a member. It helps me a lot. My goal, I feel like, for every stream is just 5 new members every day, and I feel like that's 100% achievable, and it's also a small amount, so now we just need 4. TikTok is different because TikTok won't let anybody gift subs because TikTok is doing updates, and it's really... Yeah, the first person that called was already in the middle of a conversation. I don't know about wanting to speak to somebody's grandma while party. That sounds... I don't want to bully an older individual. It's kind of sad. I mean, if you guys want to have a conversation, there are 2 ways to join the conversation. Not a single one of you over on TikTok have hit that request to join button, but there's 337 of you in the live. So isn't that interesting? It seems like no one even on TikTok has any kind of gall to stand behind their own vote or their own support for somebody. You guys are very sad. You guys are, what, scared of me? Like, am I that scary? Like, little me is so scary that you can't even hit the request to join button? Oh, Ruben, you've already been proven wrong on that, so I find it very interesting that you would even continue to say that. They are, Brendan. Just saying. Hi, how old are you?
18.
When were you born? What's your date of birth?
February 3rd, 2007.
Okay, sorry, I don't speak to 18-year-olds anymore. Have a good one. Also, I want to speak to people who voted. If I talk to an 18-year-old, it's like I feel like I'm just bullying somebody. And thank you, John, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Put that up on the screen. Hi, how old are you?
11 for 54 with just 3 RBIs.
No, Brendan. I don't really care about which way the generations are going or the people that you seem to think are pivoting that far. There's a certain point where I just have more knowledge than them on so many subjects that it just seems like I'm being a bully, if that helps. I've made that stance very clear. I even said that earlier when I said that I don't talk to 18-year-olds. You weren't apparently listening. It's okay, Blaze. I understand that you're like a super fan because you're in my chat every single day. You obviously must not do anything with your spare time. Your spare time is spent on TikTok every single day. Oh, not you, Brendan. You were here when when the 18-year-old came up, so you heard me say that. But it's a nice try. Thank you, Bishop, for the bits over on the Purple app. I'm just saying. Oh, no, it's not judging people by age, KLZ. See, that's how low knowledge you are actively being right now. 18-year-olds who just turned 18 after the election, when the first thing I ask people after I ask their age is who did they vote for, I want to speak to the people that were responsible for putting Donald Trump into office and that still support their active vote. So the thing that they actively went out to do in order to participate in the election, that's the difference. I'm very clear in the reason why I ask people why they vote. Will I probably continue to ask them after, I don't know, another month or two? Probably not. At that point, if you're 18, right, you've had a year to figure out what you're doing. And that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? Ruben, you don't actually know anything, so I've literally proven you wrong on so many things. How old are you?
18.
Not talking to an 18-year-old. People are so interesting. Hey, Maddie, thank you for that. Oh, they did, yeah. Like, I'm very clear on what I'm saying and doing. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
How old are you?
35. How old are you?
30s. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did. Registered Democrat. I want to ask you one question.
I'm not a Democrat.
Why do you think that most Democrats switch to the Republican vote?
I'm not a Democrat, so I wouldn't know.
You want to know?
No, I'm not a Democrat.
What are you registered as?
An independent, non-affiliated, to be exact.
Non-affiliated.
Non-affiliated.
So who would you rather vote for in this last election?
I'm not here to rehash the election. What was the prompt on my screen? I believe it says, I don't support Trump. Why do you? So if you would actually let me ask my next question, because there's always three questions that I ask every single.
Two choices.
So I ask every single caller 3 questions in a row, and if you would actually let me get out the next question, I would have asked you why you still actively support Trump 7 months into his presidency. Are you able to actually quantify why you still actively support him?
Yes, we're getting criminals out of our country.
What criminals?
What criminals? The undocumented immigrants.
According to Arizona, hey buddy, I have news for you. According to Arizona v. United States Supreme Court ruling in 2012, individuals that have crossed through the border through a non-port of entry, so the people that illegally cross, unauthorized, undocumented, whatever you said, they're not considered criminals. It literally actually says it.
In one of the 50.
No, sir. This is the United States Supreme
United
Court.
States is not
The
gonna do that.
Supreme Court of the United
The Supreme
States,
Court overruled-
the
the
highest
Supreme Court
body
overruled a
of
lot
our
of it.
judicial, the highest body of our judicial branch of government had already determined that individuals that are considered deportable, right? So they're sorry, the word is actually removable within there. So individuals that came
Deportable
through
is the
the
correct word.
removable, the individuals that came through
Deportable.
came into this country through a non-port of entry and are therefore undocumented or unauthorized to be here or illegal, as you like to call them, are not considered criminals, according to the highest body of our judicial branch of government. They're actually so. And do you know what the job is of the judicial branch of government? It's actually to determine what is a crime, what is a civil offense, what is constitutional, right? Because judges are the ones that hand out the sentencing to individuals after they've already been determined, or like whether it's a civil case or whatever, after guilt has already been applied. So isn't that very interesting that the judicial branch of government, the judicial branch of government, the highest body of our judicial branch, right, the Supreme Court of the United States, directly disagrees with you. And this case has not been overturned in any way, shape, or form, nor have they ruled on it differently at any point in time to say otherwise. That, in fact, guess what? Unauthorized immigrants, aka illegal immigrants, as you like to say this, are not criminals. They are not criminals, according to the United States Supreme Court. Because do you know what actually constitutes somebody being a criminal, sir? It's actually going to being charged with the crime and then being convicted of said crime. That actually makes you a criminal. Being accused of a crime doesn't make you a criminal, sir. Being accused of having broken a law doesn't make you a criminal, sir. You want to know why? Because within the country of the United States of America, we are innocent until proven guilty. Now, can you acknowledge anything that I said? Can you acknowledge anything that I said? Can you acknowledge anything that I said? Or were you just screaming over me the entire time? Are they criminals? Yes or no? 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 Are they? They're not. So you weren't listening. Got it. Well, I have news for you, sir. If you can't actually agree with or understand actual facts, I'm not continuing a conversation with you. To be clear, look this up yourself. I hope this helps. Okay, I'm going to give you some information. Let's be very clear. Arizona versus United States Supreme Court ruling in 2012 has determined that individuals that are here undocumented, unauthorized, illegally are not criminals. Because in order to be considered a criminal, you have to have not only been accused of a crime, but convicted of said crime. These individuals have not been convicted of anything. Oh, well, that's a disgusting comment. Let's get you up here. Yeah. Being accused of a crime doesn't make you a criminal. If that was the case, then you guys put the best criminal in office. It's not how it works. That's not how our Justice Department works. Y'all don't understand shit. The Supreme Court of the United States of America disagrees with you. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hey, it's RJ. I just want to say you're doing a great job.
Thanks, RJ.
And you have a lot, I'm in your TikTok chat, and there's a lot of really low information Trump supporters.
They're just crying.
And I just want to urge them to call the number on top of the screen. If you have an issue with Ari saying, call the number. Stop being beta simps.
Literally, they've been crying in my chat for the last 19 minutes.
It's just wild. I'm watching it scrolling right now. Just dumb. Sebastian Rodriguez, just dumb. Just very dumb people. But listen, keep doing what you're doing. Everyone, give Ari all the gifts. Subscribe on YouTube and on TikTok. She is the best ever, okay?
All right. Love you, RJ. Everybody follow him in the TikTok chat. We get a laugh out of you guys. Just to be clear. RJ, send your heart me. I just need 2 more. 2 more heart me's anyways. No, I talk over people that don't understand. Facts are, in fact, facts. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay. Did you vote for Trump?
I actually didn't vote.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good day, man. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah.
How old are you?
22.
Okay. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
And do you still support him?
Yes.
Okay. What is your main reason why?
Because he's actually doing more for our country than Joe Biden ever did. All Joe Biden did was slept in office the entire time.
Okay. So what has Donald Trump actively done for this country, and be very specific?
Helped deport a bunch of actual convicted criminals back to El Salvador where they belong.
Okay, so out of the 270 individuals that were sent to the CCOT prison, how many of them had criminal records in any country? That was quick. Was that the quickest concession I've ever had? Got it. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there? Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Hi, how old are you?
19.
Okay, did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Do you still support him?
I would say yeah for the most part.
Okay, what year were you born?
2006.
All right. What's the main reason that you still support Trump?
I would say Doge and getting rid of government spending.
Getting rid of government spending?
Yeah, like cutting government spending on things like USAID and all that.
Gotcha. So, like, what has Doge actually done? How much have they actually, saved America? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. So according to the rescission bill that was placed into Congress, that was actually because Congress is the only one that can approve funding being stopped or funding being cut or funding going out to places, because that's literally Congress's job, according to Article 1 of the United States Constitution. They only cut $9 billion in total. And let's be clear, when Elon Musk and Donald Trump were talking so heavily about Doge after Donald Trump won the election, they promised the United States American populace that they were going to cut $2 trillion. And then even afterwards, when they started looking at all of these agencies, he dumped it down to $1.2 trillion. But at the end of the day, we didn't even save a fraction of, less than a fraction of what he actually promised. He only did $9 billion, which is just a drop in the bucket for our overall spending that we do every single year. It doesn't even make up what we're spending on the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense budget is $1 trillion right now. That's less than, that's not even a point of a percentage. That's less than 1% of our entire budget.
I would just say in general, I don't think the government operates within the Constitution at all. I'd say there are some constitutional things that still apply, but there's a lot that don't apply, and I'm not really sure what areas of the Constitution the government still operates within and what actually Doge is doing within the Constitution or outside of it.
I'm sorry. So you're saying that you don't believe that the United States government, the federal government, operates within the bounds of the United States Constitution, and so you're not sure what exactly they still are following within the United States Constitution. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I could
Thanks,
tell
Chris.
you what laws they even try to keep.
And you're in support of that, right?
No, absolutely not.
You're not?
I think I think
Oh.
the Constitution is kind of a failed way to regulate the government because they
That's a
don't
new
have
one.
to operate within it.
That's absolutely not true. That's why we have a judicial process. That's why we have, like, no. You would be correct in if you were to say that the active administration is going outside of the bounds of the United States Constitution, because we've seen this time and time again, that in fact that they've attempted and are attempting to do so, which is why we have so many litigations against this sitting president right now.
So I would say that there are several things within the Constitution that they are doing outside of it. One of them is no state shall convert liberty into a license and a charge. If a state converts a right into a privilege, then a citizen can ignore the license and fee. That would make literally fishing licenses, hunting licenses, tattoo licenses, all without the Constitution, like outside of what the Constitution says you can do.
And that's what? Which amendment are you referring to?
It's licensing liberty.
It's not an amendment of the United States Constitution. What is the amendment of the United States Constitution that you're referring to?
Give me a second. I'm gonna figure out which one it is.
I don't know, Sammy. I wish I knew.
All right. There also is the
No, I just want the amendment for what you're referring to right now.
okay. Yeah, the 14th Amendment.
Which section?
I don't have the Constitution memorized, so I'm trying to look this up right now.
Are you referring to, let's see, Section 1, I would assume. No state shall make or enforce any laws which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Is that what you're referring to? Because that has nothing to do with what you said.
No, it's hold on. I can call out another one, but that one is more I actually know a little bit more about it, but
Which would be what?
the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. There's literally like so many, all of our states, I think, besides a couple of them, don't even allow you to have fully automatic weapons without license.
No one can own a fully automatic weapon inside the United States of America. No citizen can. That was a law that was written by Congress back in the early 1900s. Only military can have a fully automatic weapon.
Yeah, so that's definitely outside of the Constitution.
No, it's not, because guess what?
Why not?
Do you know, you're familiar with the judicial branch of government?
No.
Are you familiar with okay. The judicial branch of government is the United States Supreme Court. Do you know what the job is of the United States Supreme Court?
What is that?
To interpret the Constitution. So we already see it in Bruin and Heller, where they've upheld the fact that individual states can in fact make specific laws in regards to the Second Amendment, right? Bruin and Heller decisions have already decided this. It's already been previously decided by the United States Constitution that the fully automatic weapon being, regulated by the government is in fact okay within the United States Constitution, because way back then, guess what we had? We had bayonets and then fucking musket balls. We didn't have the technology that we have now with guns, which is why the Supreme Court is who we rely on in order to make these decisions, right? Like, they're the ones that interpreted the letter of the law as it was written by Congress and determined it to be constitutional, because that is literally their job that's laid out in Article 3 of the United States Constitution.
You don't think that they knew that technology was going to evolve when they made that?
Not to the extent that it actively has.
I mean, in that time, I mean, there was people alive that didn't know what guns were at a point in their lifetime, and then they had guns. All of a sudden, technology was kind of evolving pretty fast. I mean, they had to have known there was going to be some kind of next evolution. It seems to me like
I don't think they thought far past cannonballs, sir. And I think that would be a fair assessment. They probably thought that cannonballs were the most destructive force, right, at the time. Am I saying that they saw that, guess what, it was going to continue on? Absolutely. Did they know that we were going to become industrialized to the point that we are now? Absolutely not. That I don't think that anybody had an idea that we were going to be having, especially the founding fathers, cars, driving, self-driving cars at that, sir. I don't think the founding fathers considered self-driving cars. They didn't even know what a car was at the time.
Kind of irrelevant, though.
No, I'm giving, you said that you don't think that they knew anything about it. I'm just being honest. Like, I think the worst that they saw coming, like the worst that they could imagine at the time, was in fact the cannonball. The cannons that were put on ships and all of that stuff. Like,
Well, right now,
this is, I'm sorry, you are kind of,
regulated from owning cannons. Right now, people
yes,
are
because
from
you
owning
shouldn't
technology.
own one, because it's destructive. You have no business to own
the
one.
government is the
Why
only
would
one
you
that can
need
own
to
one.
own? Why? Yes,
So the
because it's been
government is the only
determined
one that
by
can
the
own
United States Supreme Court. I'm sorry. I've already given you this answer. Let me just try really quickly. Who is the United States Supreme Court?
You tell me.
No, I've already given you the answer. So I'm trying to see if you've been listening. Who is the United States Supreme Court?
It's a very simple thing. The right to
All right.
bear arms
Bishop wants
does
to
not
tell you,
include
my friend Bishop, who is a conservative and is a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, says that he supports the Heller ruling, which is what agreed and reaffirmed the fact that, guess what, you don't get to own assault weapons, automatic assault weapons, nor can you own a cannonball. So, dude, you don't know enough. You don't know enough. I'm sorry. I'm actively not trying to be rude, but there is a point where somebody just does not know enough. And there's a point where you should just not speak on something when you don't have any kind of knowledge to back it up. He's making me think I shouldn't even talk to 19-year-olds who voted. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. Okay. Like, if you don't know it, then stop talking. Thank you, Ariel, for this. I don't disagree with you, but screaming over a caller who had the guts to call while you just scream over them isn't making a point, even if you're right. So here's the thing. It wasn't just me screaming over a caller. Also, thank you, Ash. I wasn't screaming over them. I just got close to the microphone, so just to be very clear that I could be heard by the caller, who didn't know anything about the United States Supreme Court. Didn't even acknowledge the fact that the United States Supreme Court has previously decided that, guess what, unless you are actively convicted of a crime, you are not considered a criminal within the United States. And that applies to all persons. If we can't agree on basic facts, there is no conversation to be had. Facts are facts. If you can't understand the basic of facts, that's when, I'm sorry, I don't have to engage in a conversation with you actively. He couldn't agree on a basic fact that you are not a criminal until you are convicted of a crime, because within our United States of America, it has always been innocent until proven guilty. So you are not a criminal, even by that very logic, until you've been convicted of a crime. And I would mostly agree with that. Strange third party is better than Democrats and Republicans. Unfortunately, we just won't see an independent or a third-party candidate make it to the White House. They don't have enough funding. They're not even able to get enough percentage of the vote to participate in the debates. And so we just don't get to see enough of their platform. It really sucks. Sure, you can say I'm uninformed. There are things that I don't know. I will fully acknowledge that. It's okay to not know things. That's why I do my research. If I'm not familiar of it, I will be honest. Well, Bernie ran as a Democrat because he couldn't make it as an independent. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I am 34 years old.
Okay, did you vote for Trump?
I did not, but I do have a couple of points to make about the conversation that you were having with the previous caller about the Second Amendment.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't know enough about the Second Amendment to have a further conversation past the limited knowledge that I have. So if you're going to pick apart the cases or anything like that, it's not useful to me or anyone listening.
So, no, not at all. Actually, see, I grew up in a highly radicalized right-wing household and was actually able to kind of break away from that ideology when I got into my kind of late teens, early 20s. But what that did was it did give me a pretty extensive knowledge on the Second Amendment, which actually kind of helped me debunk it as I got older and wiser, so to speak. So there's a couple of things that I would love to point out to some of the people who are saying that you're wrong about the Second Amendment, when in reality you're mostly on the money. And in fact, I think what a lot of right-wingers tend to do is forget a lot of what they know about the Second Amendment, sometimes deliberately, to make a point against people who are trying to debate them on it. And it's something that I find incredibly frustrating. For instance, you brought up the point that you can't own an automatic weapon in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were commenting in your chat that is wrong, that's stupid, you're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you get that.
Oh, they love saying that, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's right-wingers love nothing more than to insult their the people that they deem inferior. And you have the added troubles of being both a liberal and a woman, so you probably struggle even more than I do. But
I mean, I'm not a liberal, but continue.
Well, neither am I. My mistake. I didn't mean to assume. Yeah. In any case, there is some truth to what they're saying. You're wrong in the sense that you do have to apply for a tax stamp, essentially, and if you do apply, you can get an automatic weapon. The problem with that is that it is a very extensive process. You have to pass a background check. You have to go to a federal building. You have to get fingerprinted, and they have the right to refuse you. They can say no based on your background or based on a previous criminal conviction, or even something as simple as like a restraining order that was filed against you. We can choose to not give you this. So the notion that anybody can own one is simply false. And anybody who's out there trying to say, "Oh no, you can get one. Anyone can get one," you're either ignorant or you're deliberately forgetting these things. And fine. If you want to pretend you didn't know that for the sake of scoring points, I mean, that's fine by all means. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is that you mentioned that the founding fathers, when they wrote the Constitution, maybe had limited knowledge of what weapons would be. And there is a little bit of truth to the argument that they did. For instance, there was a gun that was in existence back then called the puckle gun, which is the precursor to what we now know as the Gatling gun, a fully automatic weapon. So they did actually exist back then. So there was at least some reason to know that automatic weapons could potentially be a reality. But again, one of the things that conservatives conveniently forget on that topic is that there was something like 6 of them in existence. Literally, there was a single-digit number of them in existence, and they were highly regulated by the government as to who could own them. One thing I think you can make the point of completely honestly, though, is that they had no way of knowing about nuclear or atomic weapons. The fact that you could literally level an entire city with a bomb. And I don't think anybody in their right mind would make the case that your average citizen should have the right to own a nuclear weapon.
Somebody
I think
will.
anybody who says anybody who says that they should, though, I think you can just dismiss whole cloth. I mean, sorry, I'm not interested in having a conversation with somebody who believes private citizens should be able to own nukes. So the point is, we agree that there should be a line drawn somewhere, right? We
Yes,
agree
literally
that
somebody in my
maybe-
chat just said, yes, I want one. Like, just saying.
Yeah, well, maybe they're being ironic. I'm choosing to believe that they're saying that, out of just for the lulz. But the point is that if we agree that yes, we should be able to determine whether or not somebody owns an atomic weapon, then we agree that there does need to be a line somewhere. Not that there can't be a line, but that there should be a line, and now we're just discussing where that line needs to be. And I don't see a reason why drawing that line at automatic or even semi-automatic weapons is a problem. I think that it's completely reasonable.
Sure, I'll give you
I
a
think
couple.
that
I'll give you 3 cases to read up on, and I'll read up on them myself. Heller, McDonald, and Bruin. I am going to move on, though. Thank you. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, how old are you?
35.
Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Do you still support him?
I do.
Okay, what's your main reason for still supporting Trump?
So I just got my 3 biggest ones were the economy, but that one blew up in my face. I will concede that one out the rip. But I am a Class 3 FFL holder, and including manufacturer and commercial. That's my business that I do.
Cool. I'm not arguing the Second Amendment. I'm just going to be very clear.
Oh, no, that's
Because
fine.
there's nothing you can
That's
point
okay.
to that Donald Trump has actively done aside from take away a tax within the big beautiful bill to support the movement of people having more weapons in this country. So when I ask people why they actively still support Trump, you have to talk about what he's actually done. He hasn't done anything to spurn on the Second Amendment. So it's absolutely useless to have that conversation here.
Okay, I can understand that. That was mostly just because a lot of I know that the tariffs have been an ongoing issue and all that, but that has actually helped my business. And again, I now know, like, with him in office, there won't be further restrictions on my business. And he also took away those arbitrary audits that the ATF were doing on a lot of people in my industry that were getting a lot of the smaller businesses like mine shut down.
Okay, cool. It helped your business. Good to know. There's not really any arguing that. If it helped your business, then that's cool.
That was my main one, because there's a lot of people think that in the industry it's all the big names that everybody knows, but like the backbone of the firearm industry, which employs a lot of people, it's a lot of smaller manufacturing centers. It's a lot of smaller companies like mine that employ a lot of people in this country.
There's a lot of small businesses that are already filing and claiming bankruptcy right now as a result of the tariffs that the United States has placed on other countries, or even just the threat of tariffs that Donald Trump has done, because they know that they can't get access to their items that they need in order to produce their product or continue to sell their product. So yes, I'm so glad that your business is doing well and that you can continue to employ other people. But it really sucks that just for your own sake and your own selfish reasons and your own gain, that other individuals, other small businesses within this country are losing.
I am more than willing to be educated more on the topic. I just don't understand where the disconnect is between just buying American materials and products.
Because not everything is actively made within the United States of America. And so therefore, not everything can already be obtained within the US of A, right? Do you think that everything that we need to make aluminum is sourced within the United States?
I'm going to say off the top of my head, I actually don't know.
No, there are 3 raw materials. Nope, there are 3 raw materials that are sourced nowhere within the United States, and so therefore it has to be imported just to make aluminum. So when we're specifically talking about tariffs hurting the industries, we can look at industries like that use aluminum in any way or any capacity. That would include your restaurants, right? Because the price of aluminum is going to increase as a result of these tariffs on other countries, right? Because these aren't targeted tariffs. These are blanket tariffs across all products. And we already know for a fact that Donald Trump probably doesn't even realize that there are an additional 3 items that are needed in order to make aluminum that we don't have anywhere within this country. So he's not even thinking about raw materials that are needed to make our basic necessities. You're going to see the price of soda cans go up, right? Most people buy soda cans because they're cheaper than buying the bottled kind, right? So we already know that. Okay. And this doesn't just affect us. This affects restaurants, right? Because they also sell sodas, right? They also cook with aluminum foil. So we're not just going to see
the CO2 come in aluminum also.
Yep. Everything that comes in aluminum is going to increase in price because of the blanket tariffs that Donald Trump is placing on this country. So even just the smallest things. And I bring up, and no, soda is not a necessity for somebody that said that. I disagree with soda being a necessity. But okay, Hector's right. Beer, everybody that engages in their unaliving their liver, actively like going across their liver, the cost of that's going to go up. Anything that is used for aluminum is going to go up at the end of the day. People forget that there's actually a lot of uses for aluminum outside of just cooking and then cans, because that's usually all we think of, right? The seltzer water is going to go up. Just a bunch of random things that people aren't even thinking about as a potential are going to increase in pricing because of blanket tariffs across all goods that he's not even considering, which is why it is so important that if we are going to enact tariffs, that we have it reviewed by an attorney specifically within Congress to make sure that they're looking at the far-reaching cost of these things, because an economics person in Congress can also look at that. So it's great that you're.
I'm taking.
You're
I'm
good.
Taking notes. I'm not a very I'm not a closed-minded person. I really am not. I am always more than willing to like hear stuff out, and I'm definitely not against learning things. I'm not a very set in my ways kind of guy. So I'm just taking down some notes.
No, you're good. And really quickly.
But I do want to research these things further.
Yeah.
I do want to know more.
I'm gonna mute my TikTok real quick, and I'm not trying to talk over you. Everybody that's on the portrait stream on YouTube, I'm going to restart you guys real quick. So come back. It'll probably take like 2 minutes, but it'll be back up. You can continue. I'm sorry. You can continue.
No,